Well, hello there in YouTube land and welcome back to the channel. Today...
Did you come here to die?
Nah, mate, came here yesterday.
Well, we get to finally test ride a new Harley Street Glide. The one I was complaining about, that it's a little bit too expensive. Well, let's see what the fuzz is all about. Now, you can... about. Now you can see this bike has everything is new on this bike, everything except the engine, but even the floorboards, they look nice but a little bit Fisher pricey. Let's see. Alright, first thing, when you hop on it, it does feel a little bit lighter, but not as light as the CVO one. It's a little bit quiet, but you'd expect that now from the new Harley bikes. I love this dash. This dash is the whole thing, man. Now, this bike doesn't have the variable valve timing as the CVOs have, and you can feel it right away. It has a little bit more character. I don't know what that VVT does on the other ones, but I don't know. Oh, I'm in neutral. I can't move if I'm in neutral. So, let's see.
What an imbecile. What an ultramaroon.
Yep, that's me. How do you turn this off? There it is. All right. So yeah, this bike feels a lot more nimbler than mine, and the suspension feels also a lot better. It's a little bit snatchier than mine on the throttle, but it's not something that's going to scare you. But maybe for beginner riders, I mean, no beginner rider should be on a big Harley tourer, but the way this thing feels on slow maneuvers, that is very low to the ground and it doesn't feel like it's going to tip over, and the clutch is very light too. It feels a lot easier to maneuver, so it wouldn't be that impossible to get a bike like this as your beginner bike. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Oh man, all the controls, they feel very good. I mean, I understand why Harley is upcharging now from the regular Street Glide to something like this, because this would compete more with the special, and it's a lot better than the special. I mean, just the way it feels, the way it rides, and it's a brand new bike. I mean, you can feel everything looks new on the design. It doesn't feel like old school classic Harley. But I mean, you can always get a used bike if you want to keep that. And they still make the Ultra, I believe, limited with the old chassis, the old design. But for me, this is a home run that Harley did by creating a brand new bike for newer riders. Old school people don't like it. Well, maybe it's not for you. It was not designed for you. But this is, I mean, I would definitely put this bike on my list. And if I can afford it, I would trade in my old Street Glide for this thing, because just the way it feels, oh man, it's just so nimble. It so drops on a dime. It feels a lot peppier, and the throttle is just, it's there, right there. I don't know if these are aftermarket grips. I don't think that they come. They're nice. They're very nice as well. The whole dash thing. The only thing I don't love about the design is the new windscreen, but it's adjustable, so that makes sense. Now you have this opening here where you're getting hot, you can open up some wind. If it's in the winter, you close it. It does have these little bearings on the bottom that's going to help with buffeting. Now the day I rode the CVO on the highway, I didn't feel any buffeting. Oh my god. Now I understand why they wanted us to keep our hands, both hands on the handlebars, because, well, this bike is a lot snatchier than my Harley. This bike feels a lot more powerful too. Man, I would love to take this bike on twisties, and you don't need the CVO 121. You can have this bike with the boom. This is the engine that it has. And I think it's enough, because you don't want a whole bunch of top end speed on a bike like this, but I'm pretty sure you can get to 100 no problem, and then get a little bit more. I would have to ask if they are limited to 100, because I know that especially if you put the touring pack on the bike, you're gonna have trouble with wind taking over the bike, and it's not going to be stable at high speeds. But if you don't have the tour pack, would these bikes be limited? I hope they're not, because that would be a bummer, man, if they are, if they feel like this so good and then have a limiter. Oh man, I love this bike. I don't love the guy on the front, because he's riding in the middle of the road and he doesn't decide where he's going. But there goes my hero. All right, what else about this bike? So the suspension, man, this suspension. I hope you checked out the specs at the beginning of the video, because, well, they're a lot better. The bike feels a lot sportier. That's just like the CVO. I mean, I was worried that the CVO was going to feel a lot better than this bike. But no, this bike feels just like the CVO on its sportiness. It just feels very sporty. It feels very planted. I wish we could go a little bit faster than what we're doing now, because you can't really see how the bike is going to handle the bumps at a little bit higher speeds. Right now, all you feel is, yeah, this bike is great at very low, slow maneuvers. But I would love to see how it handles a little bit faster conditions. Well, I hit that big bump and I didn't feel it in my back the way I would have on my Street Glide. This bike is a lot better. Yeah, that suspension, man, it's a lot better. The mirrors are very good. It has a different design, a little bit, I don't know, I like mine, but they're not bad. They go with the whole aesthetics that they're a little bit more square, more angular. instead of rounded, because everything on the older bike was a little bit more rounded. This bike is more. And then it has all these new controls. I wish I knew exactly. On mine, the volume controls are here. On this one, I found it over here. So I would have to get used to it, but it's not that terrible. And it does have the blinkers on each side, on either side, just like the older models. And it does have the self-canceling indicators, which are good. Look, this dude needs to get with the fucking program, man. Oh man, I love this bike. This bike can definitely handle a corner. Yeah. And then the whole dash thing, you can set up your phone. The only thing that is a bummer is that it doesn't include the auto play from Android. It only connects with the iPhone, so you can have your map right here in the middle. Otherwise, you're gonna have to use the Harley navigation system, which sucks.
This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
Sucks. Now it is getting a little bit hot. It is getting a little bit hot on my legs. Oh man, I love this bike. This bike just feels so peppy. That V-twin, you feel the character of the engine. It just, I don't know. You feel like a badass riding a Harley, and this bike makes you feel like a badass that you're gonna actually go fast. You can keep up with the sport bikes on these bikes, I guess. I have no idea, but it feels like it. What else we can talk about this bike? So those floorboards, I don't know, they're nicer, I guess, but they do feel a little bit, or they, for example, check out this thing. I don't think this one comes standard, or the grips. They're a little bit nicer than those floorboards. Why does the clutch feel different or seem different? Is that even the clutch? I have no idea. I love it. I mean, Harley makes some beautiful engines. They design the engines not just to fill to fill you with character, but the way they design them, they're pretty. They're just a work of art. You can have one of these engines and just put it on a I don't know, on a bookshelf, a big bookshelf with just there, and it'll be a great addition to any home. Don't tell my wife I said that, but yeah. Interior design I am not, but yeah, I think I could do that. Well, what else can I say about this bike? The brakes also feel very good. You can stop this bike, even though it's a big bike, with just the front, with 2 fingers. It does stop. And the back brake, it's good, but no, it is good. I felt a little squishy at first, but no, they're good. And it just fills you with control, because these type of big touring bikes, you can control all your maneuvers with your back brake, and you can do that with this one, no problem. And it is in sport mode, so that means you do have the modes, which is good that we do have it. And then we have traction control and all these things that you didn't have. So that means that's why the throttle feels so good. It's a ride-by-wire throttle, I guess, because I don't know, it just feels a lot better than the older one. The only thing I don't love is the clutch, that it is a little bit on the hard side. It's not that bad. It's a Harley. But for a big touring bike, you would love to have a little bit more of a relaxed clutch, especially if you have small hands like Trump. I love this bike. I just love the way it drops, and that it just fills you with confidence. I would definitely put this bike on the list, and I'm unfortunately right now I can't afford it, so I'm gonna have to wait until I pay off my other one before I can trade it in for something like this. But even though it is very, very expensive, if you have the money, guys, forget what I said on the other video. Oh, forget what I said on the other video. Go and get yourself one of these. If you can afford it, it's worth it. It is definitely worth it. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you liked the video, to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell button, and share it with all your friends. You don't like the video, well, share it with all your enemies. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh my god, this thing just stalled. I don't know why it stalled. That was weird. Okay, maybe we don't get one of these bikes because they fucking die on the middle of the road. Alright, Dakota, let's talk about these plastics here, the covers of the speakers. They're not the nicest. They do feel a lot, very Fisher Pricey. Yeah, like a toy, so you definitely have to change these. Oh, another thing that this one has is this thing. You can put your phone in here, or even a tablet. Very nice. And since you have the big screen here, you don't need to be checking your navigation on your phone or your music. Everything is going to be here. Unfortunately, as I said, this is only going to be available if you have an iPhone. If you have an Android, you're still going to have to put a phone mount here so you can have your navigation. It's not going to go with the autoplay. And yeah, so those are one of those things that hopefully in the future. But that was not a Harley thing. They said it was more of the Android thing. They decided, you know what, too many people are getting into accidents on motorcycles because of us. So just because some people are stupid, well, you don't get the nice things. Well, that's it. Thank you. You can go now. Skip to the next video. There's just plenty more of Mini JP on the video on the channel, so go ahead and check out those videos, because this one's over. It's been over for a while. I don't know what you're expecting me to do now. Do a wheelie on the bike? Alright, so wait for the wheelie. It's at the end of the video. Feel hot on this thing. Wheelie and stoppie coming up. Alright, first of all, I can't do a wheelie or a stoppie. Second of all, it's a Harley. I wouldn't be doing that. I love this bike, man. I love it. Love it. And I like these things. This is the way it should. This is the way a dash should look. Very old school, but using new technology. Very nice, Harley. Congratulations, Harley, on this bike. You definitely hit a home run with this bike. Almost killed it. Where are we going? Mommy, where are you going? Okay. This guy sucks, man. It never gives me any space to do a good maneuver. gonna go with those guys. So I'm on that one next. Okay.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.